Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back. Today is week 2, lesson 2. So before we begin, make sure that you have your writing packet out and that you are turned to the brainstorming page. If you don't have it out right now, go ahead and pause the video and take your materials out. Okay. Actually, before we begin, I want to make sure of a few things. Yesterday, I told you to make sure you watch the video and read through the instructions and all of that good stuff. And I'm just going to say it again. Before you start this video, make sure that you have read through today's daily instructions all the way through. Some of you yesterday were still doing some things that I had already told you not to do. I've already saw that yesterday. And in the video from yesterday, I told you to not do specific things. And you're already doing them. So please make sure that you are reading through all the instructions that I post on the channel daily. And make sure that you are following along with the video. Because every time I ask a poly question, the answer is always in the video. There should be nobody getting it wrong. Nobody should get the poly question wrong. Because the answer is right here. The answer is in the video. Yesterday's poly question was, what is the charge word? So let's look at it. Where is the charge word? If you were following along yesterday, and if you wrote down and filled it out, and then we shaped the prompt before this, the charge word was why. Many of you selected right for this was the go word, not the charge word. The charge word was why. Some of you selected importance, which is not even in the prompt. So let's look at the prompt really quick. The prompt says, write, which is the go word, about why, charge word, telling the truth should be important to everyone. Is the word importance there? No, it's not there. And some of you selected that answer. Why have you selected it? I'm not sure. This was the charge word. If you shaped the prompt with me yesterday, if you followed along in the video yesterday, and we're really zoomed in on learning yesterday, the answer was right here, guys. So make sure you're listening closely to today's video. That way you don't miss out on that poly question, okay? All right, let's move on. So your homework yesterday was to fill out your brainstorming box and narrow it down to 2 or 3. So for me, I selected, it shows who you are. You can make more friends. I forgot to check it off. And I chose less stressful. So these are the 3 that I'm kind of really leaning towards for my essay. But to narrow it down between these 3, I think I'm going to choose this one and this one. So I think I'm going to choose these 2. Now, maybe you could use some of these as supporting details. Like, if you are going to select, maybe if I was going to select being honest. Okay, when you're honest, you can show who you are. And maybe when you're honest, you can earn some respect. So maybe I can combine some of these ideas and leave some of them as only supporting details, right? But my reason will still be the one that I chose. So some of these you can combine, some of them you can toss. So think about that. Let's see, I'm going to put it right here. You can combine, you can toss, and the last one is keep. So make sure you're using that strategy when you narrow down your ideas. Combine, toss, or keep. All right. So I told you guys yesterday that we would be working on our central idea statement today. I did draft out a few in my journal to make sure I got it right and to make sure that I was hitting all of those targets that I'm supposed to be. So I'm going to pull this out really quick because this can be a helpful tool while you're writing your draft. Do I have a hook? Did I restate the prompt and did I state my reason? So last time, remember I said, oh, maybe this is something I might work on. So this time I made sure that I stated my reasons. So I'm going to write out my central idea statement, the one that I created for myself. I know last time I wrote out my whole introduction, But this time, I'm only going to write out my central idea statement, okay? So what I did in my central idea statement was I mentioned my two reasons, which are this one and this one. I mentioned my two reasons because in the checklist, it says, state your reasons. So I wanted to make sure that I did that. So this is what I came up with. Okay, so let me just be clear. This is not my introduction paragraph. This is only my central idea statement. Looking at my introduction paragraph, it probably won't fit here, and that's okay. So this week, I wanted us to really focus a little bit more into the very important writing elements. And so that's why I'm focusing only on the central idea statement. Last week was a bit of a refresher. We needed to remember what hook was, and we needed to remember how to do your central idea statement and how to lead into the next paragraphs. So today we're focusing really, really deeply on the central idea statement. So when we are talking about the central idea statement, this was one of our poly questions last week. This is the one sentence in the beginning of the essay that tells what the writing is about. So that is exactly what I'm going to do here, or what I have done here. So here's my central idea statement. Being an honest person is the best thing you can do because it's less stressful and shows who you are. So I mentioned my two reasons. So just by looking at this sentence, does this sentence tell what the writing's going to be about? Yeah, my writing's going to be about these two reasons, and I've already mentioned them right here. So right after this, I'm going to put a little arrow. That way you can visualize it. I'm going to restate the prompt right after this, which is in combination with the central idea statement. So this means if the prompt is asking us to tell why telling the truth should be important to everyone, I'm going to have a sentence after my central idea that sort of says what the prompt is asking me to do. So what I did, and I'm going to show it to you right here. I said, being an honest person is the best thing you can do because it's less stressful and shows people who you are. Because of this, telling the truth should be something everyone does. So I restated the prompt in a unique way. I didn't say exactly word for word what they're telling us in the prompt. I said it in my own way. And that's what I want you to do. So the thing that I want you to work on today is your central idea statement and your introduction. Your introduction. So keep in mind, this week we only have until Thursday. However, I will still allow you to submit it on Friday. That's going to be okay with me. If you want to submit it on Thursday, I'm okay with it for this week. Next week, I'm not okay with it. So this week, you can submit your writing on Thursday if you want to. I'm going to take a picture of my introduction and I'm going to upload it onto our class team. That way you can see it and you can kind of look to my essay, my introduction, as a helpful guide to yours. Now remember, I can't be more clear about what I'm going to say. Do not write the exact same way as I do. Don't use mine as you just fill it in with your own words, okay? Try to be unique. Try to use a different kind of hook. Try to use a different kind of expository introduction. So, and on that note, I'm about to take out our expository introductions chart. Let me put it right there. So last week I used the funnel, which begins with several broad ideas and then narrows to the one being addressed in the paper. That's what I used last week. This week I'm using a different strategy, and it is the turnabout. So let me read to you my introduction. Playing pretend can be a really fun way to be imaginative. Even though this can be a fun game, it's not okay to pretend to be something you aren't. Being an honest person is the best thing you can do because it's less stressful and shows people who you are. Because of this, telling the truth should be something everyone does. So do you see how I started off with a broad topic, which was playing pretend and how it can be fun? And maybe there's some benefits to playing pretend. But then I turned it. I went from one side to the other. And I said, even though this can be a fun game, it's not okay to pretend to be someone you aren't, which leads me into my reasons, which were shows who you are and it's less stressful. So I started off with one idea and then I flipped it to the other. That's the turnabout. And that's the strategy that I used for my introduction. So I want you to consider these when you're going to write out your own introduction for this prompt. Look at the quotation, look at turnabout, look at funnel, and look at the examples. This chart is on the files in the general section of my class teams. So if you want to look at this chart, I'll probably link it on our post for today. Or you can just go to general and click on files. It's in there. So one more time, what you will be doing for today is work on your central idea statement, then write out or draft out your introduction. One more time. Work on your central idea statement, draft out your introduction. And that's all I have for you today. Talk to you guys tomorrow.